Good morning, welcome to part 27 of my Round the Kent Coast Cycling Challenge. Today we've just come through the Sandwich Bay estate. You may see in our distance where we were 2 weeks ago, Ramsgate, right off over there. I'm just going to pan around a bit so you can see it. That's quite a long way off now. Today we are heading towards Deal, which is in that direction. You can't see it, but it'll be quite a nice cycle today. There is a kind of path further up the beach, so we may struggle across these stones. But yeah, it's quite a distance in that direction. Be a lovely trip today. I'm just going to show you up this bank here, because we've just finished off going through the Sandwich Bay estate. Now, this is quite an exclusive estate. It was quite nice last week, but we saw the end of it this week, which was some quite nice houses there. So I just want to show you the end of it as we get up the beach. Excuse the pause, it's quite a long beach to the top, but we're nearly there. There's also quite a nice view over the remaining part of the Royal St George's Golf Club, which we talked about last week. But here we go, nearly there. Okay, so as we walk along here, you may see the remnants of the Royal St George's ahead. As I go round, you can see some cattle grazing in the field, and just beyond it is a rather large houses of Sandwich Bay estate. It's quite nice. As we go back around, we can see out to sea. Right, let's carry on around the coast. So we've just reached Deal. I'm just going to show you around here. In the distance there, you have got the remnants of Sandwich Castle. There's not much of it left. As I pan round, still in the distance is Ramsgate. The sea is lovely today. You can kind of hear it lapping against the shore. Not many boats out today. And as I go round in the distance, you may just see Deal Pier. And the walkway with the houses of Deal are just starting behind it. Right, let's go and have a closer look at the town of Deal. The proximity of Deal shoreline to the notorious Goodwin Sands has made its coastal waters a source of both shelter and danger through the history of sea travel in the British waters. The Downs, which is the water between the town and the sands, provides a natural sheltered anchorage. This meant that despite the absence of a harbour, the town became a significant port both for merchant ships and the Royal Navy. The town was often well known to be used to transit goods and people from ship to shore. Historically, Deal was known to be visited by Nelson and was the first British shore on which James Cook set foot in 1771 on returning from his first successful voyage to Australia. Deal today is a popular tourist attraction. If you are visiting, don't miss its award-winning high street, mazy smugglers' lanes and independent shops. There is also buzzing cafes and pubs which sit along a photogenic seafront that's home to a sweeping pier and quirky maritime clock. You can also feast yourself in history by prowling the battlements and captain's quarters at Deal Castle, then visiting nearby Walmer Castle, the former command post of the Duke of Wellington, and it even features an original pair of Wellington boots owned by the Duke. The town is definitely worth a visit for all those history lovers or anyone just loving a really nice seaside town.
So as we ride through Deal and Walmer today, it's quite an interesting fact and a point we see along the route, which is actually in Walmer.
we actually see the suspected spot where Julius Caesar actually invaded Britain in 55 BC, which is rather a long time ago. But obviously the Romans had quite an influence on the culture of kind of England today, and I'm sure we wouldn't be the same without them. So that'd be quite interesting to see. There is a kind of memorial there, which we will try and find in Walmer as we go through it. But it's very interesting. It's kind of made me think of the amount of times that England has actually been invaded through foreign troops. I mean, you've got the Saxons, which you spoke about last week, the Romans, and as you go further around the coast, obviously you've got the Normans, which is actually more in Sussex, but I thought I'd mention it today. It's very interesting, and how the invading forces have kind of shaped who we are as English today. Yeah, it's very interesting. Right, let's carry on around the coast. So we've come through Deal. It's been quite flat today, so I thought I'll cycle a bit past Deal and see what we can find. Kind of give us a head start on next week. I'm just going to show you around. There is some kind of strange cedar fences here. Again, it's really nice as you kind of go between the towns. The beaches seem to be very kind of secluded with no one on them. It's definitely worth kind of taking the effort to go outside the town if you kind of want that peaceful beach, which before this trip I must admit never really knew existed in Kent, a kind of peaceful beach. But what I want to talk about is the local here. There's an author that used to live quite close to here, which is Ian Fleming, who created the kind of James Bond novels. Now I'm going to talk more about him next week, but what I want to talk about now is one of his books, which was MoonRaker. You may have seen the film, but it was a kind of James Bond book written by Ian Fleming. And in the book, he actually, Drax, who was a villain, actually built his first rocket just outside Deal. And I kind of pictured it around this area. I don't know what was in Ian Fleming's head at the time when he wrote it, but I did actually watch the film hoping to show you a clip of kind of connecting with some local knowledge, but unfortunately the film has just totally no connection with Kent, and in fact it shows probably everywhere in the world apart from Kent, which is a bit of a shame, but anyway, it's a good film and I enjoyed watching it, but I won't show you a clip. Anyway, let's head on a bit further around the coast. So another great milestone has been reached in our journey. As you can see out here is the North Sea, and the dividing line between the North Sea and the English Channel is sort of about here. So as I pan round, you will see the English Channel. There is some boats going across in the channel in the distance, but you may not see them. I'm not 100% sure the exact location of the dividing line, but I think it is about here. Very interesting. What I also want to go and look at now is Goodwin Sands, which is just about a mile or so offshore. So let's go out and see if we can find them. Goodwin Sands is a 10-mile long sandbank at the southern edge of the North Sea, lying 6 miles off the Deal coast. The area consists of a layer of approximately 25-metre depth of fine sand resting on an upper chalk platform which belongs to the same geological feature that incorporates the White Cliffs of Dover. The tides and currents are constantly shifting the sands and they rarely stay in the same place. More than 2,000 ships are believed to be wrecked upon the Goodwin Sands because they lie close to the major shipping lanes through the Straits of Dover. A few miles between the sands and the coast is also a safe anchorage used as a refuge from foul weather known as the Downs. Due to the dangers, the area, which also includes Breakbank, is marked by numerous light vessels and buoys. Last year, the Dover Harbour Board applied for a licence to dredge 3.75 million tonnes of sand from the area. This was going to be used for landfill and construction for the Dover and Western Docks Revival Project, which will incorporate a new marina with cargo ship and cruise liner berths, shops, cafes and restaurants at the port of Dover. Action Group Goodwin Sands SOS are campaigning against it as they are concerned that it would do unreversible damage to the sands. They are especially worried about the 500 grey and harbour seals that breed and hunt and fish in the area. There is also timber from the thousands of ships that have sunk there, and their remains often wash up nearby, a constant reminder of the watery graves of thousands that should not be disturbed. During the Great Storm of 1703, some 1,200 men were lost in just one night. A German submarine that sank in 1939 has still not been discovered, and between May and November 1940, 60 planes and 80 aircraft from Britain, Germany and Poland were listed as missing over the Goodwin Sands. I'll leave you to look at the current owners of the island, the grey and the harbour seals who have made it their home. So this is about the end of part 27 of my Around the Kent Coast Cycling Challenge. I'm just going to give you a tour around here. You can see there's a nice kind of campsite which is just by the coast. Here's the kind of road and bay we came on. So pan around, you'll see out to sea some lovely kind of sailing boats out there. Really enjoying the sunshine. Some kind of paddlers in canoes. I think the area below, just to the bottom of this cliff we've found, is actually all MOD area. So I pan around over the cliff. It's quite a high cliff here, you may not be able to tell that, but something we can see in the distance now is France. You may not be able to see, I can just see it. It's quite nice. It's a bit of a milestone as well today, and the path goes ahead towards St Mary's on Cliff. Right, thanks for joining me. See you again next week.